In the vast and intricate tapestry of ancient Greek mythology, the birth of Zeus represents a pivotal moment that sets the stage for the rise of the Olympian gods. Zeus's origins are inseparable from the violent power struggles among the earliest divine beings known as the Titans, who ruled the universe in the generation preceding the Olympians. Among these primordial rulers, Cronus emerged as the most fearsome. He himself had gained power by overthrowing his father, Uranus, who had once ruled the cosmos with tyranny, imprisoning his children within the depths of the earth. This act of parricide established a terrifying precedent. Divine power was maintained only through ruthless preemption. Yet, in typical mythic fashion, the gods' oracles and prophecies shaped their destinies as much as their actions. Cronus became haunted by a prophecy of his own, one that foretold that a child born of his union with the Titaness Rhea would rise to depose him, just as he had overthrown his father. Terrified by the possibility of losing his hard-won throne, Cronus resolved to prevent the prophecy from coming true by any means necessary, setting the stage for one of the most dramatic and suspenseful tales in Greek mythology. Cronus's fear of losing power led him to commit acts so horrifying that they would echo through Greek myth for generations. Each time Rhea bore a child, Cronus swallowed the newborn whole, ensuring that none of them would survive to challenge his reign. This included the first 5 Olympians: Hestia, the gentle goddess of the hearth; Demeter, the nurturing goddess of agriculture; Hera, destined to be the queen of gods; Hades, the future lord of the underworld; and Poseidon, ruler of the seas. One can imagine the despair and helplessness of Rhea, forced to witness each of her children vanish into Cronus's insatiable maw. This relentless cycle of birth and consumption not only underscores Cronus's paranoia but also frames the environment in which Zeus would eventually rise, a world defined by fear, cunning, and divine treachery. Greek myths often highlight these cycles of violence and prophecy, emphasizing that even gods are bound by fate. Cronus's actions illustrate a terrifying paradox. His attempts to prevent destiny from unfolding directly ensure the conditions necessary for its fulfillment. The atmosphere of dread surrounding these early Olympian births creates an intense narrative tension, setting the stage for Rhea's eventual plan to save her youngest child, Zeus. Rhea's anguish over the fate of her children led her to seek counsel from her parents, Uranus and Gaia, the primordial deities of the sky and earth. It was clear that if Zeus was to survive, extraordinary measures would be necessary. The prophecy, after all, was inexorable. Cronus could not be allowed to thwart it again. In secret, Rhea conceived a plan that would protect her youngest child from his father's consuming hunger. When the time came for her to give birth, she journeyed to a hidden location far from the prying eyes of Cronus, choosing a secluded and sacred cave on Mount Ida in Crete as the child's refuge. This cave, shrouded by natural fortifications and divine secrecy, would become the cradle of the future king of the gods. Rhea's actions illustrate a recurring theme in mythology: the interplay of cunning and courage in the face of overwhelming danger. While Cronus relied solely on brute force and fear to maintain control, Rhea embraced strategy, secrecy, and resourcefulness. The stage was set for Zeus not just to survive, but to grow into a god who would one day embody wisdom, authority, and strength, a stark contrast to the tyranny of his father. Her bravery underscores the essential role of maternal intervention in myth, emphasizing that even in worlds dominated by male power, the decisive influence of mothers and women often shapes the course of destiny. Zeus's upbringing in the hidden cave of Mount Ida was a period of both danger and divine care. According to myth, he was nurtured and protected by a group of divine nymphs who provided him with food, shelter, and guidance. One of the most famous caretakers was the goat Amalthea, who fed Zeus with her magical milk, ensuring his growth into a strong and healthy deity. The myth describes this period as one of both comfort and adventure. The cave, surrounded by dense forests and towering cliffs, concealed Zeus from Cronus's gaze, but it also required constant vigilance. To ensure that the infant god's cries did not betray his presence, the Curetes, armored warriors with a mystical role, performed a perpetual dance outside the cave, clashing shields and weapons to drown out any sound of the hidden child. These mythic elements reflect the ancient Greek belief in divine protection and cosmic balance. Powerful forces conspired to shield the one destined to become the supreme god, emphasizing that the cosmos itself aligned with the prophecy. The imagery of the nurturing goat, the vigilant nymphs, and the massed cries of Zeus paints a vivid scene of a hidden childhood, rich with divine intervention, suspense, and preparation for the monumental future that awaited him. Zeus's upbringing in the hidden cave of Mount Ida was a period of both danger and divine care. According to myth, he was nurtured and protected by a group of divine nymphs who provided him with food, shelter, and guidance. One of the most famous caretakers was the goat Amalthea, who fed Zeus with her magical milk, ensuring his growth into a strong and healthy deity. The myth describes this period as one of both comfort and adventure. The cave, surrounded by dense forests and towering cliffs, concealed Zeus from Cronus's gaze, but it also required constant vigilance. To ensure that the infant god's cries did not betray his presence, the Curetes, armored warriors with a mystical role, performed a perpetual dance outside the cave, clashing shields and weapons to drown out any sound of the hidden child. These mythic elements reflect the ancient Greek belief in divine protection and cosmic balance. Powerful forces conspired to shield the one destined to become the supreme god, emphasizing that the cosmos itself aligned with the prophecy. The imagery of the nurturing goat, the vigilant nymphs, and the massed cries of Zeus paints a vivid scene of a hidden childhood, rich with divine intervention, suspense, and preparation for the monumental future that awaited him. The confrontation with Cronus marked the beginning of a dramatic turn in Greek mythology. With careful planning and divine assistance, including counsel from the Titaness Métis, Zeus crafted a scheme to liberate his siblings from their father's belly. Using a potion or emetic, he forced Cronus to disgorge the children he had swallowed: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. The reunion of the Olympian siblings represented not just familial restoration but the rebalancing of cosmic power. This event signaled the start of the Titanomachy, the legendary war between the Olympian gods and the Titans. Mythology portrays this period as one of epic battles, divine strategy, and heroic valor, where the fates of gods and the cosmos itself hung in the balance. Zeus's leadership and foresight during this time cemented his status as the destined ruler. The myths illustrate that destiny often requires both cunning and action. Zeus's careful preparation, combined with his ability to execute a complex plan, allowed him to alter the course of divine history. This turning point reflects the essential Greek theme that intelligence, courage, and righteous purpose can overturn even the most terrifying of tyrannies. The triumph of Zeus and the Olympians over the Titans heralded a new order in Greek mythology. After a protracted and violent conflict lasting 10 years, the Olympians emerged victorious, and the Titans were cast into the depths of Tartarus, a realm of punishment and confinement. Zeus assumed the mantle of king of gods and ruler of Mount Olympus, bringing stability to the cosmos and inaugurating the era of Olympian dominance. His rise was not simply an act of vengeance or conquest, it was the fulfillment of prophecy. A demonstration of the interplay between fate, divine intervention, and personal agency. Zeus's reign symbolized justice, order, and authority, contrasting sharply with the fear-driven tyranny of Cronus. Moreover, the myths describe Zeus as a figure embodying wisdom, strength, and moral judgment, though often flawed by human-like emotions, reflecting the Greek ideal that gods were powerful yet relatable. The origins of Zeus, from his perilous birth to his ultimate victory, remain one of the most enduring and compelling narratives in Greek mythology, inspiring generations